Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining me again this week. Well, right off the bat, I've got something I gotta come clean about. I love to read. And no, I'm not talking about blog posts or Facebook group pages or even the occasional tweet that catches my eye. No, I'm actually talking about physical paper books. There, I've said it, and I'm not embarrassed about it. I remember when I was younger, the very first kind of grown-up novel I read was Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. It took me a little while to get through it, but when I did, I was blown away. I absolutely loved it, and that just opened up the floodgates for me. I basically read everything else I could find by Michael Crichton, and then that led into other authors like Stephen King, James Patterson, Janet Ivanovich, and so many more. But in today's video, we're not here to review the latest best-selling novels. No, instead, we're here to check out some elongated coin-related books and catalogs. First up, we've got this big green book called Yesterday's Elongateds by Lee Martin and Dottie Dow. Now, this is widely thought of as the Bible for collectors of older elongated coins. This was originally published in 1981 and then went out of print for quite a while before a second printing was done in 2004 and then a third in 2008. You can tell which printing you have depending on the color of the cover. This green one is actually one of the third printings. So let's open it up and take a look inside. So here are a few that some of you may recognize. The 1893 Columbia Exposition designs. Shows all the different variations. Here's a few other ones we might recognize. The St. Louis 1904 on the pike designs. Here are some I found from my old stomping grounds in New Jersey. Nice looking designs. They even have some from Canada in here. This one kind of caught my eye, the Dion quintuplet design. That's pretty unique. So as you can see, there are a lot of different designs in here. This is why it's kind of considered the Bible for a lot of these older designs. These are pretty hard to find, but this is such a great resource to use if that is a part of your collection, is trying to collect a lot of these old designs. This is definitely the guide that you would want to use. Lots of cool stuff in here. And I even said I don't really collect many. You know, if some of the unique designs do pop up and I find them and I pick them up from my own collection, I'm definitely going to do so. But I don't, my collection is not trying to collect all of these. That seems like quite a feat, but I know there are a lot of collectors out there that are pretty close or have a lot of these in their own collections. But I even find just kind of perusing through this book is really interesting to see all the different designs that were made, the years they came out, and a lot of it you can see gives you really detailed about all the different, what the actual design is, the border if there's any, because a lot of them have different styles of borders. So a lot of cool information in this book. First editions of this are pretty hard to find, and if you do come across them, they're going to be pretty expensive. The TEC online store does have copies of both the second and third editions for sale if you want to pick one up. The cost is actually $40 for non-TEC members, but if you are a part of the club, then you actually get a discount. There will be a promo code you can get on the website or the online store, which will actually get you a copy of the book for just $25, which also includes the postage. So I think that's a great deal for this really cool book with some fantastic information inside. Next up is this beautiful catalog that was put together by Rich Bottles Jr., a fellow collector, and it's a comprehensive list of pretty much every known elongated coin that was available or is still available in West Virginia. This was certainly a passion project by Rich, and he did a fantastic job. He was even nice enough to sign my copy here after I ordered it. As you can see up in bold, they will list the city that the design is available. There's a brief little description and then really nice pictures of all the different designs. And there are quite a few pages in here. Now, I don't have many West Virginia designs in my collection. There was one trip my wife and I took where we kind of cut through West Virginia, and we did stop at a Cabela's, and I actually found right here in the book, so I can put a little check mark that I got one out of quite a few different West Virginia designs. But I really think this is a really fantastic little catalog. Rich did a really great job on it. I mean, this is so much work to go through and catalog all this and detail it, get all these pictures. I mean, this must have taken quite a while, so what a great job. The last book is one I've received a lot of comments and questions about, asking if I had any details on, and unfortunately I didn't. So that meant I had to jump on Amazon, placed an order, and just got my own copy. And I will say this is a very interesting guide, I think is the best way to put it. As it states, it is a mega list of over 3,000 press penny machine locations all through the United States. Now, this is basically one big compilation of the online database from the website pennypresses.net. As you can see, there is a lot of information inside this book. Now, I do wish there was a little more detail, like the type of coin that's there, or even, you know, the number of designs that are available. Plus, I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to try to zoom in a bit on this one entry here, like Hollywood's, you know, again, I'm just going to pick on a couple from around Disney since they're so close and I'm there all the time. But like Hollywood Studios, it doesn't specify, you know, how many machines are there. You know, we know, because I'm sure if you've been following some of our other videos, there's actually over 25 different machines there and almost 130 individual designs. So I think going just off of this would be a little difficult to be able to kind of prepare for one of your squishing missions at the park. You know, it's a good kind of starting point, I think, to be able to give you, you know, information that there are potentially at least one machine there. But I do wish this, you know, and of course the size of the book, you're kind of limited as to how much information they can have in there. I understand that. But I do, you know, wish that there was a little more detail, at least to kind of help with some of that preparation. So I did go through and kind of spot check some from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, even Central Florida that I was familiar with, and for the most part, they're all pretty accurate. Like I said, do wish there was a little more detail on how many actual designs or machines are there, but that's fine. But then when I did look at a few more of the Disney locations, I came across this one that says it's at the Grand Floridian Boat Dock, which I never even knew there was a machine there. So I thought, why don't we take a quick look and see if we can find it? So that obviously is just one example of a mislabeled machine, and I can only imagine trying to maintain a list like this with over 3,000 locations nationwide is obviously not going to be 100% accurate. Our own website that I maintain just a few maps for Disney and Universal parks here in Florida with only a few hundred machines, and that is a massive project just by itself. So keeping that massive database as up to date as they have, I give them massive props for their efforts there. My best advice for this guide is to use it as just one piece of your trip planning. By using this along with at least one other source should give you accurate enough information for a successful pressing visit. On a quick side note, running into out-of-date information does happen quite often. I know I've had that problem a few times, and there are many collectors who spend hours and hours of their time trying to keep all the information as up-to-date for others as possible on sites like pennypress.net or even pennycollector.com, both of which have options to submit comments and update the information for each machine within their database. If you ever do come across a new machine that's not listed on one of these sites, or if you have some updated information, I would please ask you to just take a few minutes of your time to help keep those websites up to date for your fellow collectors. I know we'll all thank you for your efforts. Well, that's going to do it for our first ever Press Penny Book Club meeting. Thank you all for attending. I hope you enjoyed delving into some of these unique resources, and maybe they'll be able to help you with your own collections. I have included some links down below in case you want to pick up a copy for yourself. Have a fantastic week, keep on pressing, and of course, keep on reading.